I thought the Bengals beating the Tennessee Titans was an impressive performance. I think the Titans are likely a playoff team, and so it really shows how much progress the Bengals have made winning a game like this, doing it the way they did, 31-20. They were up again. They were up 24-7 at one point in the early in the fourth quarter. And Joe Burrow, I guess, has really been exactly what was needed to breathe new life into Cincinnati. And Joe Burrow's progressing so quickly. I love seeing him, man. I just look. We'll see if he ever. I don't know what the ceiling is for Cincinnati. But it shows, man. From a Cincinnati perspective, Joe Burrow is absolutely the right pick, and there was no doubt he was. But oh my gosh, he really has turned things around in Cincinnati. And again, there's a lot of hope in Cincinnati. He is changing some of the culture, the work ethic there. And Joe Burrow is progressing so quickly from a mental standpoint. I mean, he has answers to nearly everything defenses are doing. His timing has been really good. He's also getting the ball out of his hands very quickly. Another thing I love about Joe Burrow so far is he has not made the same mistakes twice, like at all. That's hard. I mean, you learn a lesson, but you have to learn the lesson. You can't just make the mistake. He's making the mistake and learning lessons from the mistakes he makes. I think that's awesome. And Joe's doing such a good job in Cincinnati. Receiver T. Higgins was the first pick in the second round. He's really showing why that was a great pick. He had a ridiculous catch against Tennessee down along the sideline. Joe Burrow extends the play, throws vertically. Great play to keep his feet in bounds. Now, I think the biggest takeaway from this Tennessee Titans-Cincinnati Bengals game is that the Bengals' offensive line is just not very good. However, despite the fact that they're not very good, they're not very physically talented, and they make little mistakes, the one thing that Bengals' offensive line can always control is that they can always give high levels of effort. No matter how talented you are, you can always control your effort. And there's this almost like a silent understanding where Joe Burrow is so good at movement in and out of the pocket. He can extend plays, he can step up, move right, move left. Where the key to the Bengals offensive line at this point is simply all hinging on their effort. Because Joe Burrow is so good at moving around and creating more time to throw the ball. Joe can elevate the success of the offensive line with his movement as long as those guys keep giving a high level of effort. As long as they keep giving effort, he'll navigate the pocket with his movement well enough to stay alive and throw the ball downfield. So I think, man, it's because... So you see, like, if you ever watch Jake Fromm at Georgia, Jake Fromm in college at Georgia stood back there in the pocket like a statue. Literally had time for days. Dude never got touched. No bodies were around him. Joe Burrow's never going to have a clean pocket where it's easy. He can just stand in the pocket. There's going to be no pressure on him. But as long as the offensive line, despite giving ground and having a guy come free here or there, if they can just keep giving effort, he can find a way to stay alive in the pocket, throw the ball vertically. It's never going to be clean, but Joe Burrow's pocket movement's such a big deal, and it really can. We saw this against the Titans, can help make the offensive line better in Cincinnati. And by the way, Joe Burrow is a way better athlete than people tend to give him credit for. We always talk about his arm, but Joe Burrow is also a really great athlete. Now, there was this ridiculous catch that I think the play kind of highlights Joe Burrow's ability to move within the pocket. Joe throws the ball while his receiver is literally turned away from him. And I don't know that completion isn't luck or maybe an accident. The receiver turns at the last second. I don't know how he possibly knew the ball was coming to him, but he turns to catch it. Either way, it's really great footwork by Joe Burrow. And it shows like he really can use his legs to make his offensive line better with subtle movements in the pocket or extending plays. And that is how Joe Burrow makes his offensive line a little bit better.